Hi, everybody. My name is Rob Pitfield. I'm a senior solutions architect specialized in Amazon Connect, and today we're here to talk about managing virtual contact centers and customer service remotely with Amazon Connect. And with me is
Mike Wallace. I am the Solution Architect Manager for what we call productivity applications, under which Amazon Connect is one of our services. And today we'll be walking through an introduction to Amazon Connect in case you're unfamiliar with Connect and its applications as a service. And then we'll be doing some demos and showing you how you can manage your users remotely. So our agenda, we're going to talk about remote contact center challenges. We're going to do a demo on how to set up Amazon Connect quickly. We're going to do a demo on automating agent onboarding. We're going to talk about agent training best practices and considerations for virtual desktop infrastructure. We're also going to talk about scaling quickly when experiencing high call volume and give you some resources that you can access to read and learn more about these topics. When we're operating a remote contact center, we have several challenges that we have to acknowledge. For one thing, how do I keep my contact center operational while my staff are all working from home? How do I set up a hotline to rapidly respond to customers about global crisis? How do I manage call and chat volume that outpaces my current contact center's capacity? We're going to talk about ways you can mitigate all of those with Amazon Connect. So what is Amazon Connect? Amazon Connect is an easy-to-use, omni-channel, cloud-based contact center service that scales to support businesses of any size. It is the fastest path to customer service innovation. When we developed Amazon Connect, we knew we had to present some what we would consider table stakes features for a good contact center to operate. The first is skills-based contact routing. This is all about matching your contact to the right agent to get the job done the first time. We had to provide voice and chat recording. This gives you the ability to enforce quality and regulatory compliance in your contact center. We had to provide real-time and historical analytics. Analytics about your contact center's performance are the lifeblood of your call center, and we have a robust suite of services that allow you to observe your contact center performance in real time and historically. And we had to provide high-quality voice capability. Your remote agents need to be able to communicate with your customers not even being able to tell that they're not in the brick and mortar contact center. So what makes Amazon Connect different? Well, first of all, it's 100% cloud-based. There is no infrastructure required for you on your premise to operate Amazon Connect. The only thing an agent requires is a laptop and a supported internet browser like Chrome or Firefox and a decent USB headset. We provide self-service configuration. You do not need to have professional services and large heavy lifting contracts with professional services organizations to make simple configuration changes to your contact center or even to build your contact center completely from the ground up on your own. We provide dynamic, personal, and natural contact flows. So when your customers call and they're interacting with the front end of your environment, your interactive voice response system or your chat bots, we want to make those dynamic and personal. We want to make them sound and experience like you're talking to a human. Amazon Connect allows you to do that with the tools in Amazon Connect and other AWS services like Amazon Lex. We wanted it to be an open platform. You as a operator of a contact center will have many systems in your contact center environment that we need to integrate with. We want to make that simple, we want to make that open, and we want to make that available for any system that we need to interface with. And we want to make sure that there's a robust suite of services and partners available for you to be able to operate your contact center any way you like. So AWS services run the gamut of over 200 different services in artificial intelligence, machine learning, databases, compute, storage, etc. And we have a robust suite of partners that can help you if you want to get additional external help for configuring your contact center. They bring rapid innovation and best practices to the table, and you only pay for the value you deliver to your customers. So let's look at a use case example. There's a company called Shore Plastics that had a critical need to build aerosol boxes to help with the COVID-19 crisis. These are boxes doctors use to protect themselves when they're doing intubations into a patient. Shore Plastics hadn't been in that business before. This was a new thing for them. They realized they had a skill that they could offer. So they ramped up very quickly and found that they really had a lot of demand for their product. They hadn't operated a contact center in the past, but they knew they needed one. and they were able to stand up Amazon Connect in a matter of days. We're operating a fully functional contact center. They had their first phone number operational with inbound calls in a matter of minutes. So I'm going to do a quick demo now on how to set up your first contact center instance. So this is the Amazon Web Services Management Console. If you've never worked in Amazon Web Services before, you'll need to sign up for accounts. You can certainly find that on the internet on how to sign up for an account. But once you've got an account configured, this is the view that you'll be presented with. Today, I'm setting up my Amazon Connect instance in the Oregon region. I'm just going to go here to the Find Services, and I'm going to type Amazon Connect. And you'll see it right here. And I'll click on that. And this is the view you're going to get the first time you access Amazon Connect in a new region. So this is just our handy dandy friendly first page. You'll see there's a Get Started. If you want to go through a quick read, there's a Get Started guide you can link to. I'm just going to click on Get Started. And we're going to start building our first contact center instance. So the first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to give it an access URL. This is the URL, the website name that your administrators and users will access to get into Amazon Connect directly. They will not have to go into the service using this Amazon Web Services console. So I'm just going to call this test demo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Obviously, you'd want to give it a name that makes a lot more sense to your company as you're building your contact center. But this is just what I'm going to use for today. There's a couple other options here. You'll see one that says link to an existing directory. If we use Active Directory, we can certainly do that. The recommended way is SAML 2.0 based authentication. If you use an identity provider that's compliant with SAML 2.0, this is the recommended method. Click Next Step. Oh, someone already has that one, so we'll 6, 7, 8, 9. So the next screen we're presented is to add a new admin. This is going to be the administrator that has kind of the keys to the kingdom. So I'm just going to put myself in here. And I'm just typing in the required fields here. And I'll just click Next Step. You have the option here to restrict inbound and outbound calls. There are better ways to do this more granularly later if you want to do that in a more fine-tuned method. But if you do have the business case where you want to restrict for your entire contact center, you can do that globally here. The next step is our data storage. So this is all recordings, chat transcripts, any data about your contact center that you want to access later. We store that in an AWS service called S3, Simple Storage Service. Simple Storage Service is object-oriented storage. Think of it as just data folders in the cloud. They're very highly reliable, highly durable. By default, we will create an S3 bucket where you can store your contact recordings and your contact flow logs and your chat transcripts. If you want to customize those settings, you can click on this and edit any of these settings. For instance, if you already have built an S3 bucket and you want to use that, or if you want to change your encryption keys, you can do that by editing these settings. We'll leave the defaults for now, click Next Step. And we've actually filled in all the information we need to create a contact center. So I'm going to go ahead and create instance. All right, once the instance is finished creating, we'll see this success field and we can click Get Started. This will take you straight into your instance creation. The first time you access your instance, this is the screen you'll see. So from here, I recommend using some of the resources we'll give you at the end of this presentation. You'll be able to see some video tutorials on what to do from this point, setting up your contact center to actually take calls. Mr. Rob Pitfield, over to you.
Thanks, Mike. Answer Connect is a live call answering service that provides customers with contact center agents. They needed a cloud-based contact center in order to accommodate their fully remote workforce and needed a way to provide this environment to their employees at scale. They chose Amazon Connect because of its easy-to-use soft phone functionalities and the reliability that AWS provides as a service. Their contact center agents are scheduled to work remote 24/7 and always be accessible by their clients' customers. With Amazon Connect, Answer Connect was also able to easily scale to the seasonality of their client's business by onboarding new contact center agents in minutes and by paying only for what they use. They also benefit from the real-time metrics and reporting they're able to get from Amazon Connect's open platform and are able to monitor their agents for quality assurance. So now let's talk about some best practices for onboarding agents. You should try to automate agent account setup via APIs as part of your employee onboarding process. You can use the Connect APIs to create users, set required policies, and security settings available. In traditional seat-based licensing models for contact centers, there's always a limit on how many users are configured for surge capacity. However, with Amazon Connect, you can quickly add new users to meet increased demand of call or chat volumes and scale down whenever needed, only paying for the minutes or messages you use. Another critical piece is making sure that the agent's hardware and network meets the requirements for Connect. So you'll need a computer with a supported browser. The last 3 versions of Chrome or Firefox are supported, and then a supported USB headset. We have recommended headsets available from Jabra, Poly, and Sennheiser. And then finally, you'll need 100 kilobits per second internet bandwidth. This is kind of a generous estimate, but it ensures that the clients will have a good experience. The link on the bottom here goes into more detail about agent workstation requirements for the contact control panel or CCP, in case you need to look at it in greater detail. Next, I'm going to show you guys a demo for a method you can use to automate agent onboarding. So the script I'm about to demonstrate is available in the Amazon Connect snippets GitHub repo here. It's a PowerShell script that enables you to create a user. And so this is the web page for that. The README on the page walks you through step by step through running the script. It requires PowerShell and the AWS PowerShell tools configured for your AWS environment. Before I go into how to create users in bulk, I want to show you guys the Connect snippets repo. So I'll just go to the root of this, and I just want to show you guys that we have a ton of different resources there to help understand how to build with Connect in several different languages, including Go, Java, JavaScript, .NET, Python, and even PowerShell. We create snippets for questions we get asked regularly from customers and are always adding more. So back to the user creation part here. So the first thing that I'm going to need is my Connect instance ID. So I'm going to grab the instance ID from the Amazon Connect console. So from the root of the Amazon Connect console, you click on your instance alias, and then up here where it says instance ARN, the instance ID is the part after this last slash right here. So you want to copy that and paste it into a scratch pad for later as needed. Once you have the script downloaded, you'll need to actually paste that instance ID right over here, and then save the script to make sure that you're, writing the users you're creating to the right location. All right. So here's the PowerShell window. The first thing I'm going to do is import the AWS PowerShell module. So I've done that, and it's imported. And if you're ever curious about the full list of commandlets available in the PowerShell module, here's a command that you could run to be able to see that. And so you can see, there's a whole ton of different commandlets available here to be able to run all sorts of different APIs against Amazon Connect. And if you ever wanted to learn more about, how to run the different commandlets, what they all do in dramatic detail, and all the parameters that you'd need to be able to do it, you can look here. This is the AWS PowerShell reference. So next thing I'm going to do, just to show you guys, is I'm going to set the instance ID. Well, let me clear my screen first. I'm going to set the instance ID as a variable here in PowerShell. A lot of the commandlets in here require that you have the instance ID set. So that way you know which Connect instance you're pulling data from. So I'll just show you guys real quickly here how you can get a list of your users in Connect of your PowerShell using that instance ID variable we said a moment ago. So you can see that there's 4 users here. Let me actually format it so you can see, the full details of those. So you can see there's 4 users, you can see their usernames and so on and so forth. I just want to show you guys for a moment here so you can see those are the users that are in the Connect environment. So you can see that I'm not just making things up. And so you're able to see that. So in addition to the script on GitHub, I actually created a couple of additional files that enable me to create the user accounts in bulk. The first is a CSV file that has a list of users, including email address, first name, and last name. The second one is a script that first imports that CSV file and sets it as a variable, and then uses a for each loop to run the script for each line in the CSV. And you can see, it's showing the variable for the first name and then email and then last name. I use the first name for the username. Of course, you can add a column to your CSV for username if you wanted to do it that way. This is just what I chose to do in this particular instance. So, all right, let's go ahead and kick off the bulk user creation here. And I'll clear my screen one more time. And so now you can see as each line shows up that we're creating the user accounts, setting soft phone options, routing profile, and security profile. And you can't exactly tell that because there's just a whole bunch of lines here, but it's showing that it's successful and it's creating that. So once that's complete, I'll go ahead and run that user command one more time to show you that all of the users were successfully created. This just takes a few more seconds here. I went ahead and created 25 just to show you guys you could do this very quickly. If you were to manually create all of those user accounts, it would take quite a bit longer. So now I ran that get user command, and you can see, there's actually 28 users now. And so now I'll go ahead and go back to the console here and do a search for users, and you should be able to see, let me delete this admin user here. And so now you'll see a whole bunch of additional users that were created. Now I want to go ahead and open one of these so you can see, that it, created all the settings for it as well. So it created the user, first name, last name, email address, set them with a specific routing profile, a security profile, and even did the the phone configuration. So in this instance, I used the defaults, but you have to actually set them in the commandlet. So there's set them for soft phone, do not auto accept calls, and then if you want to set an after call work timeout. So that's an option for creating users via a CSV file. It's also possible to pull users from Active Directory or some other system of record, or even call the script as part of your employee onboarding and account provisioning process one at a time. So it's completely automated, and you don't really need to, sit there and remember anything that you need to do. And it's just something that happens as part of your employee onboarding process. Okay, next let's talk about agent training best practices. So we recommend recording a training session for your agents on how to use Amazon Connect in your current workflows for agents to enable people to consume it as they're ready to. We also have a very recently published YouTube video by one of our teammates, Aisha Borker, for Agent Contact Control Panel or CCP training. We'll provide the link to that training at the end of the session on the resources slide. The next thing we see many customers do is create cheat sheets their agents can have at the ready or even print it out to help reinforce their learning. In addition to those two options, we recommend setting up office hours time for people to bring questions that the training and other content didn't cover for them. Finally, see the resources slide at the end of the presentation for a link to the agent user guide. It shows detail on all aspects of using the contact control panel you can use to inform your own training. The screenshot here actually comes from that. And Jonas Nicholson, Direct Interactions CEO, really was pleased with the amount of time that it takes for agent training, noting that it takes them less than 20 minutes even. Should you have internal, non-internet accessible applications that the CCP needs to interact with, such as homegrown service desk system, you can use Amazon Connect in a virtual desktop infrastructure or VDI environment. For other cloud-based application requirements, agents should be able to connect directly without requiring remote access solutions like a VPN or VDI. Using a soft phone with remote connections in VDI environments can negatively impact audio quality. If your agents connect to a remote endpoint and operate in that environment, we recommend either rerouting audio to an external phone number for your agent endpoint or connecting the media through the local device and then signaling through the remote connection. You can build a custom CCP with no media for call signaling using the Amazon Connect Streams API. This way, the media is handled on the local desktop using standard CCP, and the signaling and call controls are handled in the VDI session with the medialess CCP. This code sample shows how to create a custom CCP for use with VDI solutions. Setting the allow framed soft phone value to false allows the agent to answer the call and not have media flow to this endpoint. What an agent does in this scenario is first open the standard CCP on their local machine and then open the custom medialess CCP in their VDI session. This allows them to stay focused on their VDI desktop and handle the signaling there while having the media go to their local machine instead of through the VDI session. There's sample code available for building your own custom CCP using the Amazon Connect API, Streams API on GitHub, and here's the link to that. There's also a blog entry with a sample solution you can use to create your own custom CCP if you search the AWS Contact Center blog for Perform an External Screen Pop with Amazon Connect, created by our teammate, Jason Douglas. American Prep Academy is a rigorous academics and virtuous character development educational institution utilizing small achievement level groupings in elementary school, all in an environment of fun and enthusiasm. This means it's especially important that they're able to provide their students with productive academic environment, enabling them to learn even when it may be difficult to do so. In March, when COVID-19 was looming and state governments were beginning to discuss the possibility of moving students remotely, David Bowman at American Prep Academy began to implement mechanisms that would prepare their schools to accommodate for a changing academic environment. They took early action by experimenting with remote learning platforms and recognizing there may be an influx in calls from students struggling to connect or need IT help. American Prep Academy promptly decided to move their IT help desk to a remote environment where they can respond to students' challenges safe and comfortably at home. They decided to move to Amazon Connect, a cloud-based contact center with easy-to-use soft phone functionalities. It took their team all but 2 hours to set up a fully deployed contact center and were able to onboard agents quickly with just a laptop and internet connection. So now I'd like to go into a few options related to scaling quickly when experiencing high call volumes. An effective way of diverting contacts for your agents is by automating frequently asked questions. For example, in a voice call, you can advertise your website's FAQ link on the IVR or interactive voice response, or during queue wait times using Amazon Connect's loop prompts. These messages could redirect customers to the FAQ links addressing a bunch of calls. You can also use Lex bots to enable your customers to interact with Connect in a conversational style. So where that's useful in this particular instance, so this is what we call a get customer input contact flow block, and it's calling a Lex bot. And Lex is our automatic speech recognition and natural language understanding capability to build bots using either voice or chat. And so customer would call in, and the bot would Connect would say, you could tell me pay my bill or schedule an appointment. You say pay my bill, and then it could go through an automated process where people could pay their bill without even having to get to an agent. Nick O'Day, the Chief Data Officer for the city of Johns Creek, Georgia, says, Amazon Connect enabled us to build an intelligent, automated call center that helps answer residents' questions anytime they call, while using the same chatbot and infrastructure that powers our Alexa skill and CreekBot, our website's text-based chatbot. With all of these tools living in AWS, we can keep our costs low, our service level high, and our staff laser focused on improving our residents' experience with the city. We have a few more projects in the works for 2020 and are hoping for a three-peat during next year's City on a Cloud challenge. Unexpected call spikes can result in longer than usual wait times. You can improve customer satisfaction by providing them a proactive notification of this information. Letting callers know of long wait times is respectful of their time, as well as sets appropriate customer expectations. With Amazon Connect, you can view the real-time metrics for your contact center queues. You can add prompts to advise customers of higher than normal call volumes and update the contact flows based on the queue wait time or queue size. For example, when the wait time is greater than 2 minutes, you can play a high call volume message. When the wait time is greater than 5 minutes, you could branch and play a high call volume message and offer a callback. A queue callback can be offered when a customer has been waiting in queue to be connected to an agent. And what that means is that a customer can provide a phone number, or Connect can even, look at the number that they're calling from, and we can offer to call them back when an agent becomes available instead of them waiting in the queue. Callers can continue to hold their position in queue when they opt for a callback. And this leads to a better experience and doesn't count against the concurrent call service quota. In addition, it saves money with Amazon Connect because you only pay for the customer connected minutes. You can set queue limits for high volume queues, such as collections around payment due dates, travel cancellation queues during inclement weather, or other disaster situations. This can be done by setting the maximum contacts and queue value, and then accordingly define queue treatment for those queues. Contact center managers can then set up overflow routing, use the transfer to queue block. For additional details on these topics and even more suggestions, you can see the blog link on the resources slide for how to handle unexpected contact spikes with Amazon Connect. And that was created by a couple of our teammates, Anjali Kambetti and Terry Chapman. So additional resources. The first three, this link up here goes to these first three, which are tutorials that walk you through everything from the initial setup of your Connect instance, how to test voice and chat, and then even to create an IT help desk. The create an IT help desk one is really nice because it even goes through integrating a Lex bot with your Connect instance, which enables people to speak to Connect and route appropriately, or even answer questions. The additional links we have here, there's the agent user guide, part of the Amazon Connect admin guide, which is useful for the agent training portion that I was talking about. Then there's the contact control panel training created by our teammate Aisha. The next one is a blog, and that contains even more information than I covered on how to handle unexpected contact spikes with Connect. And then the last two are the snippets GitHub repo that I mentioned earlier, and then the pricing for Amazon Connect. And that's the end of the presentation. Thank you again for giving us the opportunity to talk with you guys today and tell you about Amazon Connect, the first truly omni-channel cloud contact center, and how our customers are using it to deliver dynamic, natural, and personalized experiences at scale, especially with regard to remote agents.